Hello everyone. We'll wait for another 5 minutes, but we'll just tell you who we are. I'm Tanuj. I'm the head of product at Service Center, and I have NK with me, our head of CX. And we have a very special guest with us today, Rehan. He's a CX expert and a leader from Tokopedia. We'll wait for another 5 minutes for everyone to join, and then we'll start the discussion. Meanwhile, I have a question for all of you. Since we are working from home these days, would love to know where you are joining in from. NK, we'll start with you.
Absolutely. So I'm joining from Mumbai. Hello, everyone.
Can we use the chat option to type in?
Oh yeah, let's. I think I would request. Let's see if guys you can share that from where you are joining in the chat box.
Joining from a beautiful place. I'm joining from a very beautiful place. The name is Binsar in India.
I'm jealous, Tanuj.
I think people have joined in as well. I'm from, so Velina says she has joined from Tangerang, Indonesia.
Wow.
How about you, NK? Mumbai?
Yep.
Novita says she's joining from Jakarta. Wow. Rahma from Indonesia.
Wow.
From the office. Rehan from the office.
All right.
Kay also says that she's joining from Jakarta, an office. Jakarta rocks. I'm joining from another planet, Bekasi. So we have people from Bekasi as well.
I know Bekasi. I have like heard a name of this like when I was in Indonesia, and I think I must say that the people from Bekasi is like very beautiful.
You're flirting with them?
Oh, no. It's true. It's true. Means like we have like 6 girls from Bekasi, but like all of them are like really great.
Okay. Bekasi is awesome. I see the chat rolling in. Around 41 people have already joined. So we'll wait from 3 more minutes. Alyssa is joining from South Tangerang. So we have people from Tangerang as well. What's the place like, Rehan? Have you been to Tangerang?
Yes, my previous office is in Tangerang.
Oh, wow.
It's quite similar like Jakarta for the South Tangerang, but for the Tangerang city, it's like Bekasi. Yeah, okay. If NK has been to Bekasi, Tangerang is similar like Bekasi actually.
Yeah, I would say that this is a little bit personal, but I think I've seen the people from Bekasi get married to the people who are in Tangerang. So I don't know, like both are like.
How can you say that?
It's I'm speaking based off the data, right? So I have like 4 friends who are from Bekasi and Tangerang, and both are get married to each other. So yeah.
Oh wow, that's why. Oh, we have Jerry from Singapore as well. Hi, Jerry. I think a lot of people from Bekasi, Tangerang, Jakarta, and people have people are working from office as well. Rehan, right? Some people have started joining office. I think our team has.
But for the one who from Tokopedia is working from home, but maybe some of the Jakarta employees still working from office. Okay. But for the limited number.
Okay, got it.
All right, I think just want to confirm that we have got almost 50 attendees for now, and if all the attendees can hear us pretty well, so if you can just say okay in the chat box, that will be just a confirmation. If you can just say put okay, awesome. Thank you, Satya.
Oh, Satya has joined. Hi, Satya. Okay, so I think it's time. Let's start the discussion. Okay.
Yep, let's get started.
So I see around 55 people have already joined. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining on a Thursday afternoon. I hope you guys had your lunch. Today, we have a very special guest from Tokopedia, as I told you. So me and NK have been working with him for a year, and we have learned a lot from him. His thoughts on understanding customers are so clear and precise that we thought of having a live webinar with him so that he can share his learnings to all of us today, and we can apply these wherever we are working. Hi, Rehan. Welcome to our show, Experience Talk. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome, and amazingly well. Even though I'm a bit nervous because many people come, I'm not expecting that so much people can take their time to listen the session.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And I hope we get excited now. So, Rehan, I'll start with you. You tell us about how did you end up in a CX role at Tokopedia? Tell us something about yourself so that people get to know who you are. What is the person behind this Tokopedia teacher that we see?
Okay, yeah. My my career is from at the CX field. Actually started in Tokopedia in 2018. It's just like almost 3 hours in July. In the next month, I will celebrate my 3 year celebrations in Tokopedia. Wow. And started my career since the beginning of associate level in Tokopedia.
Okay.
But focusing on the CX, especially on the VOC. At that time, the name of the team is the VOC team. Yeah.
Okay.
But along the time, the team is evolving. But currently, the team is divided into two major teams. That is customer intelligence, which focusing on the NPS, and then CSAT, gather all voices from the customers. And beside, we also having the competitor intelligence, the team who are responsible for benchmarking.
Okay.
We do the benchmarking not only from the survey, we are also doing the social listening because we understand that much of people, especially millennials, start tweeting, start to posting what they thought in the social media, not directly to us. So we are also maintaining the voices from the social media. That's one of the unique activities, I think, from Tokopedia, that we are also listening directly to the customers, not only for the mention account or mention posting. We are also managing or listening to non-mention posting.
Okay, that's really nice to see. And when did you guys start it? Like this social listening of non-mentions as well. When did you guys start that?
Yeah, at 2018, that's our first time to utilize the social listening tools. At the time, maybe we only using our laptop, a small monitors to monitor many voices in social media. But currently, because we have we prove that the social listening is impacting our businesses, we are having our customer engagement hub in Tokopedia Care Tower, not in Tokopedia Tower.
Okay.
We have the customer engagement hub comment center that containing many monitors that monitors many voices from people from the Tokopedia users. Actually, not only the Tokopedia users, because we want also hearing or listening from the other users who are talking about Tokopedia. Maybe some of it is just mention Topet or si hijau. Si hijau is mean the green, the color of Tokopedia. We can also monitor that voices.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we'll discuss more on that how did you start this? What was your strategy around it when we go deep into the topic? And for the audience, so we opened a Spotify channel 3 months ago with the name of Voice of the Customer and Employee from Service Insum, where we invite CX leaders from around the globe to share their thoughts. An episode is posted every week. So this episode is also going to be live there next week. And so you can hear out and you want to learn more about customer experience, there is a podcast that you can do it for you. NK, can you paste that in the chat as well so that people can see if they want to?
Absolutely, yeah. It's in the chat now.
Thanks a lot, NK. And okay, so before we start, I'll just tell you guys or to everyone in the audience that we have structured this webinar into 3 parts that we are going to learn. The first thing is we'll start with understanding a bit about Tokopedia's internal culture, which is the foundation of what they are today. Then the second section will jump to what led them to create a VOC program in the first place, what challenges they faced when they wanted to launch it, and how it matured over time. The third thing will be, because this is a challenge for most of the CX teams, that how CX teams in Tokopedia assign ownership of customer experience to different business units and departments. Because CX teams are always responsible for CX, but how do you make other teams responsible as well? So that's something that we would learn from Rehan today. So I think NK, you can paste that in the chat as well, so the people can see how we'll structure this. And Rehan, before we jump to our topic about the VOC, there are a few things that I always get curious about. I see a lot of things whenever I see something from Tokopedia, there's a word that comes out. It is nakama. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. What is nakama?
Yeah, nakama. Nakama is actually come from the Japanese. Nakama. Yeah, this is the calls for Tokopedia employee. Yeah. This nickname was inspired by our CEO and co-founder, Pa William. His favorite Japanese comic, One Piece. Maybe one of you know about the One Piece, the Luffy. Right. Yeah, maybe some of you know the One Piece and maybe read the One Piece comic. The words of nakama is mean friend. Yeah. Actually, in Japanese, there are several terms that are related to friends, but Pa William feels that nakama has deeper meaning. Yeah. So Pa William wants to call the employee of Tokopedia is nakama because nakama is refer to a group of people who operate in under one flag or same roof. Yeah, because in One Piece they are operating or running ship. Yeah, because One Piece is pirates. Yeah, so William want to call the nakama because the employee under working the same umbrella, that is Tokopedia.
Right. I actually love the meaning of it, like a friend, because I think wherever I see Tokopedia, whenever I see the culture of Tokopedia, it always talks about the friendliness, right? I think that's where this comes from. So another thing that I get curious about is, like, what is the Tokopedia culture DNA? I see it everywhere. I see it on the news that there's some culture inside it that everyone adheres to. Can you explain a bit about that?
Yeah. Tokopedia has 3 DNA. Yeah. First is the focus on consumer. Maybe this is one of the reasons why Tokopedia has the VOC program. We want to ensure that our products, our features is meet the needs for our users. And then the second is growth mindset. Growth mindset means that we have to do the hard work, practice, and the persistence as the key for the success. Besides, we want our nakama is to step out from the comfort zone. Pa William want we have to never be satisfied with the current state and keep fighting for the better feature and products. And the third one is make it happen and make it better. Yeah, this is the patience to turn the voices, the data into the great ideas. We want to the ideas become the reality, not only in the paper or not only in the slide. Yeah, we want to the idea is turned into the reality, into the actions. And every good idea, when has been implemented, we want to make it more better. So the spirit is make it happen and then make it better. So we're not only stopping by creating the features, but we have a spirit to evaluate and make the features more relevant for the users.
Right. I think I love this. The last one, make it happen, make it better. It's actually completely different from whenever I've heard something about this culture. It's a kind of innovative culture focused towards the customers. So one thing, Rehan, we see that many companies start building these cultures, right? But the way you are explaining, you are one of the employees there, one of the CX leaders there, and you are explaining it exactly the same way that Pa William would have mentioned. So how did you guys actually embed this culture within teams and especially new hires?
Yeah, actually we believe that to have the right talent, it should be started from the recruitment process. Each applicant has to understand and demonstrate the Tokopedia DNA when they are doing maybe the interview, the selection process. And besides, especially for the Tokopedia care team, we have our own service value that is friendly, proactive, simple, and trusted. That has to be demonstrated when they are do the interview process and other selection process that have been done by Tokopedia team. And then we are ingraining the value when the onboarding session to internalize more about the Tokopedia's culture and guiding principles to every newcomer. Newcomer is the name for new nakama or the new employee. Yeah. And then during the working period, we are also evaluating the understanding of DNA by running routine quiz. Yeah. Maybe it can called as the core value quiz. Yeah. Core value quiz is to measure the understanding and the adequate knowledge, and we want to make sure that the employee is always implements the DNA and the service value when they are working. Besides, to penetrate more the DNA and the service value in a fun way, Tokopedia held a culture fair. Yeah, we set up a games. Yeah, culture fair. We set up a games that are relevant with our value. So the employee, the nakama, can remember and implement it in their daily life.
Right. So and this cultural fest happens like once a month, once a quarter. How soon that happens?
Yeah, the culture fair is once a year actually, because we do another engagement activities that they are also implementing our core value and the DNA. One of it is called the Uncommon CX Day. Uncommon Days is the time where the people, the nakama, is coming to one room. They are not allowed to bring laptop because this Uncommon Day. This is not time for the people to working, but this is the time for people to ingraining the value and the DNA and the new knowledge for them. So they are focusing on increasing their personality and knowledge and the skills at that time.
I think that's one of the reasons the Tokopedia is doing so well. It's not just what you do as CX, it's what you do inside the company for engagement as well, and how everyone is all involving in this culture, because every good company has a specific culture that they are proud of, and that gets everyone motivated. And I think make it happen, make it better is one of the highlights what you told us today.
Yeah.
Okay. And a question for the audience: do you guys have a culture inside your organization that you love? You can type in yes or no in the chat. And would you like to paste that question in the chat?
Yeah, I think we've already done it. And like Muhammad says that it's like continuous improvement is one of the culture that they invite for. And then like Jonathan says, yes, they have it. And Pakit says that yes, Lester says yes. Having culture is key for creating values in the organization. So yeah, I think it looks great to see that like most of the people has have the culture place in the organization.
Wow. I think I'll have to talk to these people as well. I'll have the chat saved and I'll talk to them and invite them someday to discuss about that culture. Absolutely. So you guys ready to jump to the VOC topic? I sure am. And just before I start, any questions you have, the audience, all the panelists, whoever is watching us today, any questions you have, you type in the chat, and I'll make sure that we post it to Rehan and ask him as uncomfortable question that it can be. Okay.
Yeah. Rehan is like a little bit nervous, so I think like we'll just make sure that we utilize that pretty well, right? Just kidding.
Okay. So we'll start with the other section. Now let's get ahead in the deeper part of the VOC, Rehan. So what led you guys at Tokopedia to start a VOC program? When did you think, okay, we need this now?
Yeah. Tokopedia, especially the customer excellence team, or previously called the operations team, the team who manage the customer service, is the vanguard, to face the users directly. And when they face the user says many things, and this means the abundance data, the abundance of voices is come to us.
Okay.
We don't want these voices is just a voices just recorded in our CRM. We want to capitalize these voices to make a feature, to make a product that relevant to them. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe you can imagine that in a year, as I mean in a month, more than 3 million interaction is come to Tokopedia Care.
Wow.
So we don't want to make this only just a complaint, but we want to make it improvement for us in the spirit of make it better DNA.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to was the change. We believe that this is a good chance for Tokopedia to capitalize the voices to implement our DNA, especially the make it better DNA.
Okay.
This is only focusing on the focus on consumer because we want to make sure that all of the product and features is based on the customer needs. This program is started in 2018 when the CX team was established in Tokopedia at that time. And this is the first time also for me at that time to create the team, to make the team is ready to face more challenge in the future.
Okay. Wow. So you guys started in 2018, and it was right around that time when you joined as well. So you were part of the starting team as well, and you're still there, right? So it would have been lovely. So, and what was your initial strategy? Like, see, you were definitely receiving voices, like you mentioned, 3 million interactions per month. So what was your initial strategy? What were the initial preparations you took that, okay, we have to understand this voice and do something about it?
Yeah, because at that time, the CX team is just started, just initiated. We want to make a strong team to utilize the customer voices. Because as I said previously, the number of tickets is more than 3 millions. And this is not an easy start because we have to do reading one by one all of the tickets, to understand what is the pain point of the users. So, but at the time, I think this is not a problem because we want to first build the mindset, build the journey, build the process to maintain the voices is not only just recorded, but become an actionable item for the related team. Maybe at that time, the first strategy is to build a strong team because at that time, most of the CX team is come from the customer service function. So many of them has no strong analytical skill, has no strong or even research skill. Yeah. So at the time, I joined the team to build the process to make everything more organized. So when we go to the business units, to the other teams, when we present the data, present the voices, it's already being an insights. Not only the data, not only information, but become an actionable item.
Okay. And did you create a strategy at the start, Rehan, that we are going to do this for 1, 2, 3 years, or you started with a small project like, okay, let's do this for 3, 4 months, hire some people who can do analysis, and then start working, like take the first step and we'll think about strategy later. So what was your point of view in this?
Yeah, at the time we start from a small project, because because at that time CX is the new team. We have to try. We do the trial and error to make journey is more efficient, more effective for many people. Yeah, because the CX is related to many teams. We are not only talking about 1 or 2 teams, but all of the Tokopedia's business units is related to the CX team.
Right.
So we have to ensure that all of the journey, all of the processes to provide the tickets, the insights is relevant to the other teams, aligned with their roadmap even. So we start from the small projects, and when it's not working, we try the another one.
Okay.
I also started to reading one by one, at that time. Not only 100, maybe 1,000 ticket is read every week, to understand what is the pain point for each business units.
So like there will be 1,000 tickets and you'll be reading it manually one by one to understand
Yeah.
what are the top pains so that you can present it to the different departments. Is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
It's
awesome.
very painful, very painful, but yeah,
Okay,
it's create a beneficial for us in the future, like today.
okay. NK, do you have a question on this?
Yeah, a lot of questions, but I will not ask too many questions. So yeah, I think like this is the problem that we also have seen when we started like from zero to, you know, when any customer who was like starting their journey, I have seen this problem there.
Yeah.
So, and everybody has handled those problems differently, with their own way, right? So I just want to understand, Rehan, is like how you have overcome these challenges, like, you know, and what are the, like, how you have designed your solution according to this. So if you can share a little bit to our audience on that.
Okay. Maybe the first challenge that I faced during this VOC program is to building the trust. At that time, the CX team is only trusted to handle a complaint. Yeah,
Okay.
because the CX team is a new team, and that time many of us is just only handling the complaint. So it's not an easy works to open the eyes of the other team to see us. Because we are providing the data, we are providing an insights. Maybe it's not an easy way. Yeah? So we do a roadshow to one team to another team to strengthen our CX positionings in the organization in Tokopedia. We present our analysis from the reading the tickets to convince the team and the unique one. Yeah, we have Make It Better Forum. Yeah, maybe previously I have shared it with Tanwich. Yeah, Make It Better Forum is yeah. Yeah, Make It Better Forum is the sessions when we are not only presenting our findings from our analysis, but we are also inviting our users to share their pain points, to share their experience when using our products or features. Yeah, at that time we are also inviting at least head level for the certain products, for the certain business units to join the sessions to hear directly from the users. Yeah, in the forum, we are also inviting maybe the product team and then the business team and even the tech team when it's relevant. At that time, the implementation or the action plan is usually faster to be implemented when the team is directly listen from the customers, because we are trust that user is the king. Yeah. So anything that has been said by the user must be implemented soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question from the audience. So there are 3 questions now, Rehan. The first is, what kind of analytical automation instead of reading ticket manually do you use to gain insight?
Okay. Yeah.
From Andre. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Andre, for the questions. One of the tools is come from the Survey Sensor. It's called the text analytics. Yeah. We are currently increasing our modeling process. So we are not only reading manually one by one the tickets, but the model can help us to mapping what type of category or what issue was happen in the floor. Because it's really pain point for us to read many tickets. So at the time, Survey System come to us to propose any solution to help us to maintain this VOC program. And it has been started since the beginning of this year. Yeah, at that one of the tools that we use. Besides, we are also supported by the data analytics team that help us to analyze the big data that come from Tokopedia. So we are combining the voices from the users and the internal data comes from data analytics. So it will become more powerful more insightful for the business units, because maybe the business units is looking for the internal data, but maybe the voices is come from us, so we are merge it, become one more powerful insights for the users. I mean for the business units.
Okay, I think Andre, I hope
Yeah.
Rehan has answered the question. So there are a lot of questions coming in.
I'm just trying to see like all those questions. So there are like a question from Jonathan. I think he has just made it pointed question here. So I'd just like to push it to you, Rehan. Is how do you differentiate your key insight from all the customer complaints? That's the first question. And second question is, how do you decide which improvement based on customer complaint is going to be implemented into Tokopedia? So it's a kind of prioritizing your complaints that you receive from the customer.
Okay. Thank you, Jonathan, for the questions. First, how do you differentiate key insights? Yeah. One of the simple tools is using the Pareto diagram. Yeah. We are understanding what type of issue that frequently happen from the user sides. But we are also looking for the repetitive issue that may coming from the users. Maybe the issue is come up since the January until now, until the June. So we are pushing it through to the business units to make an improvement, to create a development feature to make sure that the complaint or the request has been fulfilled by the relative business units. But and on the other side, we are also looking to the business metrics. One of the business metrics usually is cost related. How we can reduce the cost from the implementation. Like maybe there are 3 types of issue, maybe related to the logistic or the shipment, and then the payment, and the other one related to apps, maybe. Yeah. We can see that from these 3 types of issue, we understand that the logistic or the shipment issue is rarely, more frequently happen from the users. But we can see that the shipment is not directly from the Tokopedia side. This is related to the 3PL. So maybe the improvement can take more times because we have to do a negotiation, to do more pitching process with the 3PL to create an improvement. So we are also see the efforts, yeah, to implement the voices from the users. So we are setting the priority based on the frequency that happen in the user sites, the user experience. And then second one is the business metrics, yeah, especially maybe cost, but the others maybe see the revenue. And the third one is the effort. So when we are combining these 3 variable, we can set the prioritization for each action plan that has been proposed by the CX team. During the presentation process, we are also discussing about these 3 kinds of variable. So we can set proper timeline. We can match it with the roadmap for the related business units to ensure that all of the implementation, the proposed action plan is implemented. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I think thank you, Tanush, for summarizing that also. I think the next very interesting question we have got from Liliana, it reads towards kind of a closed loop. So when you, did you do any kind of a pilot project before launching any changes to the public? And how do you check if those changes are actually working out for customers and they are really happy? That's the first question they have. And she also wants to understand is, if you can share like some of the stories that has not worked well, right? And then how do you get out of that, right? So what is the actions if it is not working for you, and how do you manage that?
Okay. At 2018, if I'm not mistaken, we have one of the unique channel called Pusat Resolusi. Pusat Resolusi is the channel to handle the dispute process between the buyers and the sellers. So maybe is there any issue that happened between those two parties? We create the channel called the Pusat Resolusi or Resolution Center. Yeah, in 2019, we create Pusat Resolusi 2.0. We are changing all of the processes happen in the Pusat Resolusi. We create many automations in the Pusat Resolusi. We are make it live for 100% users at that time. But turns out the voices is the negative sentiment comes because too many automation, because some of the action cannot be proposed by the sellers because it's really depend on the automation that happen in the Pusat Resolusi in the channels. The negative sentiment, even listened by our CEO. So at the time, our CEO say that close or change, revert back the product into the previous version. Yeah, that's one of the sad story, I think, in Tokopedia at the time when we are trying to build our more automation in order to do a more scalable action, yeah. But this is not really here. Not only listen, not listen directly to the customers. Yeah, at the time we are evaluating when the CEO said to revert back to the prior version of Pusat Resolusi. We are looking for we do some small research. We are do focus group discussion. We do interview, especially from sellers, because sellers is the one of the main of our users who use the Pusat Resolusi, ya. Because when the users is complain in Pusat Resolusi, I mean the sellers is complain in Pusat Resolusi, maybe they can get a penalty. So the voice from the sellers is more than the buyers, yeah. So from we are listen more to adapt with new Pusat Resolusi 2.0, 2.5 maybe, yeah, because 2.0 is a bit veiled. So we make some adjustment. We make another options to ensure the needs. I mean, option is the feature to the sellers to align with their needs. And then some of the automations is referred back because we ask them, is it useful for you or not? Yeah, we will list down the feature that has been implemented in 2.0 version, and we come up with the new version. Yeah, maybe we can call it 2.5% version, I mean. And then we are rolling out in a phase. Yeah, we are not directly make it implemented into 100% users. We roll out it in a phase. Maybe we started in the 10%, and then 25%, 50%, and under, and at last, we are make it live for 100%. Okay. So by doing this, we are having more time to do an evaluations to make process is more relevant with the users. And as the result, currently the Pusat Resolusi 1, the automation process having higher satisfaction compared to the other channels.
Awesome, okay. Awesome. I think like that's a great insight, Rehan, and sharing that to our audience. I have a very specific question coming from Hendro. Is more of like the metrics. So CSAT is one of the metrics measured to success the hearing the voice of customer program. Now the problem, most of other function beside the customer service is not really relate to CSAT. So, do Tokopedia push the importance of CSAT measurement to other function, or probably think it is not relevant to measure CSAT anymore?
Okay. Thank you, Hendro, for the question. Yeah, currently CSAT is at that time, at the first time the VOC program started, the CSAT survey is only provided for the services for the customer excellence or the operations team. But since the 2019, we are expanding our survey, our VOC program to other business units, especially for the bigger one first. We want to make it happen first. So we do for the biggest one at the time, the marketplace team, digital product team, and the fintech team. We are started from the small to make the team understand that the VOC is important. We provide an analysis that come from our prior CSAT survey from the service one, and they understand and feel that this is important because we want to listen more about the voices directly from the users. So they think that this is important to be implemented in their business units. But maybe it's not for the CSAT survey, because we also give a suggestion for the related business units, the most relevant methodology that can be used to measure the satisfaction. At that time, we come up with the NPS survey, Net Promoter Score survey, because we provide a comparison between the CSAT and the NPS. The NPS is actually the higher level of the customer satisfaction survey. Why? Because the scale is more ranging from the 0 until the 10. But typically, customer satisfaction survey is started from the 1 until 5. So we suggest the business unit to use the NPS because it may more relevant for the users, because it can grab more voices, because we can divide it between the promoters, passive, and promoters. At the time, the other consideration to use the NPS survey is most of the business units want to understand the satisfaction for a journey. When we want to understand a journey, I think we think the CX team see that the NPS is more relevant, because when we say an experience, it starts from the first journey, second journey, until it finish at the end of the journey.
Right.
So when we want to see on the understand of the satisfaction for the journey, we see the NPS is more relevant instead of the CSAT. But some of the business unit is still using CSAT because it may be only one journey in a certain long journey. So we suggest to the team to use the CSAT. So I think the CSAT and NPS is still relevant until now, but how we can make it survey is more actionable for the business units, because this is the issue. Maybe after the business unit is having the voice, having the information that get from the survey, they don't understand what to do next, because maybe they don't understand how to analyze more deeper the data that provided from the users. There is an art to analyze the data, to combine it with the internal data. So they trust us to do the more deeper analysis for them. Since 2020, we are having a routine report for the business units, called it top line because it's only the summary. But since 2021, we combining all of the business units and all of the sources of the voices, like the social media, the survey, the tickets, and the others relevant sources of the customer voice into one report called digest. So every month, the business unit receive the report, and usually the senior management is also directly response to the digest report and mention the relevant product team, maybe, or the business team to take an immediate action to handle the customer voices.
Okay. Rehan, really great answer. I have a question on this, two questions actually. So the first one, you said the digest. So the digest is like you're getting data from surveys, like there is an NPS score and then there is open-ended data, and that you're doing text and lists again.
Yes.
Then there is a voice of the customer data, which is coming from different channels, which is the tickets. So you combine all that into a presentation and share it with the business teams, right? And end of every month. This is what you meant, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Then the second is, I think I'll ask my question again. Satya wants to say something. He has raised the hand. Satya, go ahead. Satya, can you unmute yourself? Oh, his connection is freezing. So you can paste your question in the chat, Satya. I'll ask that. So Rehan, my other question was, once you get an NPS survey, you get promoted, detractors, and passives. How do you like taking actions means closing the loop as well with some of them, right? Who are actually not even if when they give a feedback, the complete feedback, they would say, I don't like this, I don't like that. They don't give you a clear picture in that small survey, right? So how do you close the loop with them and get deeper? What's your process about that?
Okay. Besides the digest, we are also do the deeper analysis for certain issue that want to be that requested maybe or our findings from the users. Yeah, we do several methodology. Yeah, we are not only using the survey. Maybe we can do another type of research method. It can be quantitative, qualitative. Yeah, quantitative can be a survey, or the qualitative like the observation, maybe the work sampling, time study, and the others that can be support us to analyze more about the data, about the voices. So we are having the more rich data, more rich insights, more rich information to be presented to the business units to ensure that this is very important to be implemented. And this is very important for the users to have it. So we are not only focusing on the survey, but we are also see the other methods that relevant with our issue that want to be going deeper.
Okay, got it. So before Satya sends his question, I'll move on to the topic again. So we understand that how you guys handle unstructured data and where do you get it. In during the COVID times when everything like completely changed, would you like to share your one of the examples that you heard the customer voice and then you implemented something, and what was the outcome like during those COVID times?
Okay, yeah. I will share you about our closed loop process during the pandemic, especially come from the social listening, maybe because this is one of the unique one, because survey is just too typically. When the pandemic started in the first quarter of 2020, at the time the panic shopping is happen. Most of the users find the basic necessities and the personal care. At the time, many of the sellers, maybe the new sellers, set an inflated price. For example, the normal price of a box of medical mask is only $1. But at the time, many irresponsible, maybe new sellers, because they want to utilize the opportunity, set up price up to $90 or even $20. It's 20 times higher than the normal one. At that time, could you imagine that when the user need it, but some of the people who think that only for themselves set an irrational price. This at the time, Tokopedia, by using our social listening tools, our customer engagement hub, is seeing people start to tweeting or posting in the social media. Before it become a snowball effect, because before it become viral or became more trending topics in Twitter, we started to take action. We are close hundred of sellers, hundred of sellers that set an inflated price, the irrational price. at the time, Tokopedia is the first one who take the first action because we are listening since the beginning. The users or the netizen say it in the social media. Yeah, I think this is the power of social listening that we have.
Right.
We understand that currently to get your brand down is just easy to uninstall the brand.
Right.
Yeah, because so many so many companies now have applications. So to make it down, just uninstall the apps. That's very easy.
Right.
The switching cost is very low. Yeah.
Right.
For marketplace.
Right.
Yeah. As the result, Tokopedia receives many compliments from the users again in social media, and this is one of the free marketing for us, of course. And many of them also, maybe say that help us to when the other user tweeted, maybe I still found sellers who sell the inflated price, but the other user replied to the tweet, replied to the post that's which said that, hey, you can help Tokopedia to make it more healthier as a marketplace by reporting the related store or the related products because Tokopedia have trust to the users to make Tokopedia is greater.
Okay.
Because with that being said, we believe that the users is our base automation also in social media.
I think that's a very good point. And that's I answered that Satya's question as well. Satya asked that what were some of the surprising insights that you got from VOC with big business impact? And I think that resonates absolutely with what you mentioned. So,
yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I'll jump on the next question. How do you monitor whether the changes you made are working out?
Okay, to understand this is the good initiative or not, we are monitoring in certain ways. First is by using our customer engagement hub. Yeah, especially mentioned is our comment center. We are not only monitoring our voices from social media, but we are also maintaining the floor of the operations performance.
Okay.
Yeah, at the time, the floor performance or the operation performance is mirroring our business unit performance, because when certain business unit having higher tickets compared to the others, maybe this is something wrong with this business unit.
Right.
So this is one of the way to monitor the implementation. Besides, by using our routine channel, our survey, we are also want to understand the movement, the number of voices comes to the survey. Okay. Is it reduced or even getting more? Maybe when it's getting more, some of the evaluation are being done. Yeah. Are the product is still answering the needs, or maybe any communications it's not really clear in the user sides. So we evaluate any aspects, especially for those two. Yeah, is it the feature still answering, or the communication is still not clear from the user sides?
Right.
That's the two way we are monitoring the implementation.
That's a great point as well. If you monitor something and the complaints start reducing on Twitter, social media, or even the tickets in that business unit, that makes sense that, okay, this thing is working. That's okay. So I think this was asked before as well, but I still want to know more from you about this. Apart from this tagging part, what led you to choose Service and for the text synthesis? What were the challenges that deep inside you were facing that, we need a solution like this now?
Yeah. The other one is the dashboard, because by using the dashboard, we can see more comprehensive, because currently we are using, at the time, we are using only the spreadsheet,
right,
or the Lumos, maybe for the certain business units to visualize the data. But by using the Surface Sensum, we are having a better visualization that can be used to understand more about the movement, about the trend of the data. yeah, I think that's the other benefits.
That's the other one. Apart from manual tagging, that's the other benefit, right? That's just removing this manual tagging. I agree. Okay, so I'll put a poll for all the audience to see. Okay, so I'm just launching a poll, and I think you guys can poll, like, put your votes as well, NK and Rehan. So I've just launched the poll, and it will be for around. I'll end it around in 30 seconds. You please start putting on the post. So I see that people are still analyzing it manually, the voice of the customer data. And some of them are using text analysis application. That's so good to see. So I'll wait for another 20 seconds. And then I'll share the results. And Rehan, I'm loving this session. Loving the insights that you're sharing.
Thank you. I hope this help the others to also implement the POC program in their company.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's absolutely necessary. The way that you mentioned, and it's not just, it's the culture, the whole culture that is why it happens at Tokopedia, and then how make it happen, make it better goes around, and that's why you guys focus on VOC so much. So I think I'll end the poll now. So the poll has ended, and I'll share the results of it. And I think still I see maybe in some time more of the people move towards that text analysis application from not analyzing the data and analyzing it manually. I think surely that will help. So thanks a lot for voting this out, and I'll jump to the next section now, which will be a little fun. So Ankit, you take it up.
Yeah, I think sure.
So we have a surprise for you, Rehan.
Yeah, so we had just few surprise for you, Rehan, because I know that you have shared like great deep insights about your experience, that what you have done through your VOC program. But now a couple of questions, just so our audience get to know you more better, that who you are as a person, right? So I'm just going to ask you a question that give an option, love, money, or happiness, what will you choose and why?
Okay. Okay. This is the surprise question, yeah. Okay. Between those three, I think I will choose the happiness. Yeah, because the other two, that is the loves and money, maybe cannot bring happiness, but happiness can bring to love and to money, of course.
Wise choice.
Of course. All right. Awesome. I think like you played it very
safe.
You played it very safe. Yeah. So I think like let me put the next question for you and make it a little difficult for you, right?
Okay.
So let's say that if you have 1 hour to go on a date with anyone on the planet, who would you choose and why? And don't worry, your girlfriend is not listening to this podcast.
But it's live on YouTube. She maybe see it.
Let me stop it.
we will not broadcast this one. Go ahead.
Okay. Maybe I will go with my last ex.
Oh God! Actually,
what an answer!
What an answer! Yeah, I think I just wanted to share a notice. What I have noticed in this conversation is actually Rehan said and then answer this is gonna be my ex. So actually the is like HMM, and it tells like hug me more.
Right? Don't disclose it.
All right. I think like thank you so much for Rehan for being so candid for us answering this question. And I think
I'll launch another poll now. Yep.
Let's put another insightful poll for us.
Okay. Just give me a moment, guys. I'll go to poll 2 and launch the poll. Audience would love to know this because this might be one of the topics that we discuss in the next webinar.
Yeah.
have a look at this poll and we'll just play it for like 35 seconds.
And I think I really love the excitement that we have from audience as well. So like the audience is pretty much
such good
active today. So we really love you guys. Thank you so much for being with us in this. And I'm sure that the conversation from Rehan is going to help you with your VOC program. And just in case if you have any questions for your VOC program or CX program, we are here to help. Please feel free to drop in the text and chat box. Yes.
Okay. I'll stop the polling, guys, in next 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. I'll stop now. And we got around 30 responses, and I'll share the results. Okay, so I think this goes ahead with the same what Rehan mentioned as well. Most of the people have mentioned that providing consistent customer experience across channels is the biggest challenge. You remember, Rehan, I asked you the same question few days back.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this just a very quick question that I pick it up from the Lasita that she has asked is providing a great consistent customer experience or providing you want to give a customer experience a delighted one, like delight your customer experience. What would you choose?
Like consistent or a delighted one, Rehan?
Consistent or delighted?
Yeah. Currently, we are focusing on the consistent across the channel, yeah. But the consistent with a delightful experience, of course, because we are also managing all of the quality of our frontliners, our fanboards. So we have to make sure that all of the channels have the similar experience because we want the user focusing on the solution, getting the solution from our channels. So the consistency is important because when they are reaching us through the Pusat Resolusi or the Resolution Center, when they are reaching us through the emails, they will have the similar solution that help them to solve the issue.
Okay, so consistent is what you'll choose. Great answer.
Awesome.
So let's jump to the last section of the day. I'll have just a couple of questions for you, Rehan, not more than that, or maybe 3. So how the CX teams in Tokopedia assign CX ownership to different business units and departments. And it is a challenge, and we just saw on the poll as well, it ranked second, that how to assign ownership to other people. So before we begin to how to assign ownership, you tell us, like, as a CX team, what are the different teams that you work with, like different departments that you guys work with or share your customer voice with them? What are those teams?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, that the CX team is connecting with all of the directorate or department in Tokopedia, because we are hearing, we are listening. So many voices comes from the users. The users say that not just selecting a business unit or selecting topics. Yeah, they say what they want to say. Yeah, so we are connecting for almost of the business unit.
Okay.
From the small and to the big and the small team, like maybe the marketplace, digital team, fintech, or even the corporate finance and the risk management is connecting with the CX, because they are concerning about the voice of the customer as the part of the focus on customer DNA.
Okay.
And then now how to convince it? The CX initiative,
that's the biggest part.
The voice of customers. Of course, we have to bring the strong voices and informations to the related teams. Previously, I have mentioned that we don't want the business unit or the other teams digesting their own voices. We have to make sure that the voices and the information has been blended into the insight or the powerful insights.
Okay.
We are not only sending the data without giving any information or context, because I think this is haram. This is the prohibited for us to only just giving the data. We want the other teams implement the recommendations. Right. So we have to convince them with the structured thinking process.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't want to jump into the conclusion. You have to create product A or the feature A, we will have to improve this. But we start with the findings. We start with the background, why we have to create this project, why we have to start to develop this kind of features or product. Because we want to have the strong foundations when creating a product, and we have to start it why. So this is a must for the team when delivering the insights to the users, is to understand why you have to propose the solutions. So, but yeah, maybe it's not working smoothly. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, mentioned in the beginning of the session, when it's not working smoothly, just bring your customer directly to say what the other teams have to do.
Okay.
We are creating our,
yeah, I think on this one, I just have a quick question for you, Rehan, is have you yourself ever involved as a customer to Tokopedia, and you like there was like anything fun around that? Like what was that? Like if you can share. If you yourself was a customer of Tokopedia.
Like any example that happened when you involved a customer and it turned out to be fun and also insightful at the same time?
I don't fun. I don't remember any fun fun things that happen when we are inviting users to come to us, to come to the office. I mean,
right.
But many of the users are very concerning about Tokopedia because they feel they own Tokopedia. They want to Tokopedia to listen their voices, because most of the people who come to Tokopedia is the loyal one.
Okay.
They want maybe they still use the other platform, but their main or the top of mind of the brand and their routine applications is Tokopedia. So when they come to the office, they are very happy. Yeah, they are very happy because they feel that Tokopedia is really focused on the customer. Even though maybe they don't understand what is the DNA of Tokopedia, but they feel it. Yeah, they feel that Tokopedia is very concerned with the users. They are inviting to directly listen to listen the curhat. I don't know what is the English curhat, to what the user says about the products, and even though they are not having limited time to come to the office, they are also want to be called by using maybe WhatsApp or the others platform to share their voice. Yeah, I think that's one of the unique one. Even though they are not have so much time to go to Tokopedia office in Jakarta, maybe they come to the other city, they are willing to be having a call with us to directly share what is the happy path, what is the pain points when using the Tokopedia products and features.
Absolutely. I think this is really interesting, Rehan, because like how the company as a company is taking step like ahead. I have not seen many of the companies that just do listen those customers in person and understanding their views and trying to solve their pain point and problems and trying to give them opportunity to being in the office or like opening the more opportunity where they can connect. Right. So I think that's a really one of the great things that Tokopedia team is doing, and really hats off to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question now on this because it was pretty interesting. So when you bring a customer like into the office, and have you used like their thoughts, the customer's thoughts, to convince CX other teams to own something, like to prioritize something? Is there an example like that where the customer told them? Because when customer comes, I think everyone suddenly starts to have more empathy, right? They'll trust the customers more than you. That's for sure. That happens everywhere.
Yeah.
It happens inside us as well, right? When we are delivering a product and NK tells us something. So what NK has started doing, when he knows that there's something that we need to develop as a product team and we have so many things to work on, so he'll bring us on those calls so that we can actually hear the customer say something, right? And when we get convinced easily after that, like, okay, so this the customer is asking. So is that something that has worked there as well, Rehan?
Yeah, sure. That's the one of the way we are convincing the team, because after uh, the 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 interview session with the users, we are discussing about what we want to do next from the session. Even as I said before, during the Make It Better forum, we are also inviting at least the head level for the certain business units. So the direction from the head, AVP or the VP from the certain business units is it make the priority is getting higher, because we understand that the voices is valuable for us to make it more loyal with Tokopedia.
Okay, awesome. So another question that came in generally, it's anonymous, so I don't know who asked it. How big is the influence of CX for the company's business continuity? That's a really great question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think the CX, especially maybe the CX and the services, is one of the differentiator for the company, because maybe the products or the features can be copied or duplicated easily, but the services and the way we treat our customers cannot duplicate easily.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, NK, do you have more questions? So what I want the people now, we have come to the end of the session. So we have 5 more minutes, guys. It has extended to more than 1 hour. And I told you, Rehan, that's going to happen. So if you have any questions, guys, please put it up right now, because we'll stop this session after 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And NK, meanwhile, you have a question, you go ahead.
Yeah, I think just one thing I wanted to appreciate specifically for Rehan, because English is not the first language for Rehan, and I think he has been so sportive with us speaking, because we have forced him, like, we cannot speak Bhasa. I think, let's do it in English. I think I really want to appreciate all your effort, Rehan, being with us and sharing your insights with us today. So I think if I have to ask you, Rehan, is that what is who inspires you? Who's your inspiration in terms of the excellence of your CX, and what do you do to increase your knowledge about your best practices and CX implementations and whatnot? Maybe if you can share some insights to our audience.
Okay, one, the major figure that influenced me in the CX is my boss, Parudi Dalimunte, because I learned much. I learned many from Parudi, because he has many experiences across industry, not only in e-commerce, but also in telco and consultant. So I think that's maybe you guys can invite him also for the webinar. I think it can attract more audience to listen, because Parudi is also having many events join. So I think you can invite Parudi in this session.
Absolutely. I think I'm sure Parudi will be jealous, because you are.
But it has been so insightful.
Yeah.
So I think we have a last question. Guys, please ask one more if you can. Jonathan asks, Rehan, first of all, he says thank you for sharing so much. And then he says, a question I had, when you mentioned the CX team actually works very closely with various departments, how do you guys split the projects within the CX team? Really great question, Jonathan. Yes, Rehan, go ahead.
Yeah. In my team, we divide it into certain category, like maybe the the marketplace is combining with the logistics, and then the digital is combining with the fintech. Yeah, we do some segregation or categorization for the peoples. We divide it into based on the business units, because we don't want to divide it into specific channel, because it can be it direct to misleading or miscomprehend, because when we focusing on one topic from various channel, it can blend it into one. But when we only focusing on one specific channel, but many topics, maybe the people will getting confused. So we are grouping the team based on the business units.
Okay, awesome. And then he had one another question. Are any team? How do you guys split that in Tokopedia? I think you already answered that question. So, Rehan, I have a question, a different question about this. How do you guys use VOC for automating your chatbot as well? Like VOC data to automate the chatbots? You have a really good chatbot, right? So do you use automation by using VOC data? Is it like the support team also has a look?
Yes, absolutely. We are having the CSAT survey of for the chatbot and the virtual assistants. Besides, we are also having the CES, the Customer Effort Score Survey, right, also to measure the automation, how easy the users to use the chatbot. We call it Tanya, the Tokopedia virtual assistant, to ensure that we are also listening directly to the users.
Okay, so I think so your CSAT and NPS and voice of the customer is like everywhere.
Rehan. Yes.
and the way you told us, like it didn't start that way. You started with a smaller CSAT only in the service team, right? And then you opened some channels, and so now it has become more mature. So one last question. Like I think I don't see any more questions from the audience. So one last question: what is the future plan in terms of CX for Tokopedia? What are the top 2 priorities for 2021 and 2022?
Okay, of course, one of the major focus in 2021 and 2022 is focusing on the developing machine learning for our chatbot, because currently we are still learning to having the right model to help the users answering the problem. Yeah, right. Because currently it's only certain type of category or certain type of issue that can be solved by the chatbot. Maybe it's around 60% right, of the customer inquiry can be solved by the chatbot.
Wow.
We have still the rest 40% of the customer inquiry that can be helped. Besides, we are also focusing on developing our automation, developing our AI in our internal. I mean for the customer, the agent, because we want to make sure that the agent is also helped by the automations, not only helping the users, but the agents as our internal customer also is helped by our automation. I think those to focus in the next 2 years.
Next 2 years. Okay. I think one last question from Jonathan. I think you'll mention Service and some again here and some other tools. So he says, what are some of the tools that you are using at Tokopedia for analyzing this VOC insights? So one is of course Service and some. You have answered that. What else do you do?
Yeah, the other one is Lumos. Lumos, but this is helped by our data analytics team. But the tools that also managed by us is, of course, it's only maybe a simple version of spreadsheet, but maybe with some adds-on and other additional features can help us to analyze the data. Because I think the simple approach or the simple methodology like the correlation, the regression, and the others is help us to understand more the connection between one data and the others.
Okay. And what was the name of the tool? I'm just writing it down in the chat. LUMOS, is it?
Yes, Lumos, yeah.
Lumos. It is for, right? Regression analysis and all, right? Regression.
Yeah, it can be done, but it's more than that. It can analyze the big data. I mean.
Okay.
But for the regression correlation, we use the spreadsheet. Maybe it can be Excel or the Google Sheet, but with some add-on to help us do more advanced analysis.
Awesome. I think that's it. That's one of the last questions. And as promised, it would go for more than 1 hour. Rehan, it did. And thank you so much for sharing your insights today. And like, I loved it, NK loved it, and the audience loved it because I've never seen so many questions coming up, Rehan. This is the first time I've seen 10 to 15 questions posted by the audience. So thank you so much, audience, for being so engaging and still sitting there. So around 47 people are still sitting there. Wow. So this is amazing. Really great session. And Satya says, thanks, Rehan, Tanuj, and NK. Thank you, Satya, for posting great questions. Valina says, thank you. I think people are giving us the thank yous as well. So what we can do, I'm just sharing my email as well. If in case any questions we were not able to answer, and we can ask Rehan to share them again. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, thank you, everyone. Thank you, NK, and thank you, Rehan. Do you want to say something? Thank you, audience.
I think just again, thank you so much, all the audience and Rehan. I think like I'm sure that everyone has got like some insights out of this, and we are here at Service Ensem helping out on the CX journey of yours. If you have any questions, we're here to help you out, and just reach out to us on LinkedIn, social media, everywhere you can find us. So thanks again, and you all have a great rest of the day. Stay safe and enjoy. And I said, I think I just want to like bring it back, as Rehan said, that choose happiness. Don't go for love and money. It will all come together if you choose for happiness. So let's be happy.
I loved his answer about who he wants to date.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye
Thanks, Rehan. Bye bye.
I think they're still in live on YouTube.